بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. The author, he mentioned رحمه الله تعالى باب ما جاء في قول الله تعالى ولئن أذقناه رحمة منا من بعد ضراء مسته ليقولن هذا لي. Al-Ayah. The author, he mentioned the chapter with regards to the statement of Allah the Most High. The statement of Allah the Most High. وَلَئِنْ أَذَقَنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِنَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ ضَرَّاءَ مَسَّتْهُ لَيَقُولَنَّ هَذَا لِي. And whenever the human being, and meaning the one who is ungrateful, this verse is clarifying some of the traits of those who are ungrateful. And whenever we touch him with some mercy from us, after aversion and adversity has touched him, then he will say, this is from me, or this is because of me, or this is from my merit, and this is something I deserve. Until the end of the verse. So what is being referred to here is the human being who is ungrateful, the type of person who does not show thanks and recognize the favors and the blessings and the bounties of Allah. And many times a person, he may find himself in adversity and find himself in hardship and difficulty, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove him from that hardship and bring about goodness for him and bring about ease and peace in his life. And instead of realizing that this is a favor from Allah and a blessing from Allah and showing thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will believe that he deserves this favor and that this is something that he had worked for himself, and that this is from the sweat of his own forehead, or this is from the effort of his own cleverness, or this is something that he had deserved in the first place, or this is something that is an indication that Allah loves him and that he is high and lofty in status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these are all of those misconceptions that the ungrateful person he will think and he will say at the time of blessing. At the time of blessing. The author, he mentioned this chapter here to clarify that it's from the perfection of At-Tawheed and from the completion of the obligation of faith that a person, he ascribes the blessings to Allah. That he will realize that with his heart first and foremost. But this chapter here is about specifically stating that and ascribing the blessings and the bounties and the favors to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not ascribing them to other than Allah. Not ascribing them to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather to know that the favors are from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to state that with the tongue. And to state that and to confess that with the tongue. This is from the perfection of At-Tawheed and from the obligations of faith and from the noble and good and lofty manners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who ascribes the blessings to other than Allah, meaning with his tongue, saying that they're from his efforts or from his cleverness or from his knowledge and the likes like this, the blessings that he has from wealth, is because of his knowledge and his efforts and his striving and cleverness in business and the likes like this, or this is something that he deserved and that he inherited this from his forefathers, and so on and so forth, and forgetting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who has provided these affairs, and He has provided the means likewise, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is deficiency in faith and weakness in tawheed and bad and lowly manners with the Lord of the worlds, So this is the relationship with regards to this chapter in the book of At-Tawheed, to clarify again that from the perfection of At-Tawheed and from the completion of the faith is that a believer, he checks his tongue and he does not use words and expressions that are contrary to the creed, that are contrary to the creed and bring deficiency to the faith. Rather, the tongue, it must likewise be purified from misguided thoughts or from misguided statements Just as the heart, it must be purified from misguided thoughts and understandings. And also the body parts as well must be purified from the misguided and the lowly actions. So all of these affairs here, the tawheed, it must be purified with regards to that. The heart first and foremost, and likewise the body parts, as well as the tongue. And the point in this chapter, as has preceded in the previous chapters in this portion of the work, is to purify the tongue and to correct the statements, to make sure that when he does not say anything that's in contradiction to the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jalla and the proper creed and aqidah. So the author, he says, قال مجاهد. Now he mentions a number of statements of the Salaf and the scholars of hadith from the companions and the tabi'een, radiyallahu anhum, with regards to the interpretation of the statement. Whenever some mercy comes to a person after he has been in a hardship, the one who is ungrateful, he will say, "Oh, this is from my own merit. This is for me. This is because of my own effort, or this is something that I deserve." So he says, "قال مجاهد هذا بعملي وأنا محكوك به." He said, what this means here, هذا لي. And this blessing here, this mercy and this goodness here, this is for me. This is because of me. He said, meaning this is because of my actions, meaning that I work for this. It was me. I am the one who have taken the means, and I am the one who has made the effort, and I obtained this favor and this bounty and this blessing because of my actions. يعني من اجتهادي. This is what he's saying it means. أو أنا وأنا محكوك به. يعني مستحق لذلك. And I deserve this. And I deserve this. And this is something that I deserve. The human being, he will say this, the one who is ungrateful. وقال ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما يريد من عندي. يعني Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما, he mentioned a similar statement. He's saying that he means that this is from me, meaning from my efforts, from my striving, from that which I have put forth from effort and from striving. Or he means that it's from me, yani meaning from that which I deserve from my inheritance and that which I have earned from the efforts of my forefathers before me, and the likes like this. And in this case, yani completely forgetting the favor of Allah, and that it is Allah who has provided these affairs, and that it is Allah who has provided these affairs. No doubt, to obtain good, there are means in this life, but it is Allah Azza wa Jal who has created the person and the actions that he does. And he has created the means likewise. And Allah is the one who gives success. And Allah, he is the one who gives success. So if a person, he strives hard, this is from the favor of Allah. Allah, he is the one who created the body and created the mind that the person he thinks with, and that he reflects with, and that he makes plans and the likes with his cleverness. This is from the creation of Allah. And then the success from Allah. And then if he were to strive hard and to make effort and to obtain some good in this life, in business transactions, for example, likewise, this is the blessing of Allah and the favor of Allah. The fact that a person, he was able to do that, and then that he was given success. So to completely forget Allah in this circumstance and situation, to think that a person, he deserves that, or that he worked for that. Or likewise, even if an individual, he inherited something from his forefathers, and it was not him actually who made the effort, but his forefathers, they were striving, and they made great effort, and they were wise, and they were clever in the affairs of the worldly life, and they obtained a great portion of this life. This is likewise from the favor of Allah. It is Allah who had created them. It is Allah who had provided for them. It is Allah who had given them success to obtain the wealth that they had, and that made their efforts beneficial and good for them. So the fact that they took the means, this is from the favor of Allah. Allah, he created them themselves. Allah, he created them themselves, and the minds and their hands that they work with, and their minds that they think with. And then Allah, he gave them success and blessed their efforts until they obtained a good portion. This is likewise from the favor of Allah. So it's not something that a person deserves himself. Even if he worked for it, it's still the blessing of Allah and the favor of Allah that he worked. Or even if he had forefathers before him that worked, this is the favor from Allah and the blessing from Allah. It's not something he deserves himself, but rather what is proper is to realize that this is the blessing and the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show thanks to him and to ascribe that blessing to him. So the author, he says, وَقَوْلُهُ قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. And the statement of Allah the Most High, and he said, meaning Qarun. Qarun, he was given a great, vast portion of this worldly life. He had treasures, and he had wealth, and he had authority, And even the people had advised him to be cautious from becoming arrogant and from becoming boastful. لا تفرح إن الله لا يحب الفرحين. And his people advised him, do not become boastful and arrogant in the lands because of your wealth. And this is what he said, قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. I was only given this wealth because of knowledge based upon knowledge from me. And based upon knowledge from me. قال قتادة, he says, على علم مني بوجوه المكاسب. Meaning I was only given this wealth because of knowledge from me. Qatada, he said, rahimahullah, that meaning I was only given this wealth because of my knowledge of business transactions and how to earn wealth. And this is from my knowledge. And some people, they learn the avenues of trade, and they become clever with the dollar, and they know how to turn over money. They know how to make profit. They know where to invest the wealth, and how to and how to sell it and how to spend it, and the proper times to move in these business transactions, and which items to buy and when to buy them, and who to sell them to, and who to sell them to, and the likes like this. And some people, they're blessed in this affair, and their efforts are good, and they are able to make money. They're able to make money in business, and they learn some of the usul or the principles with regards to business, and then they have cleverness likewise, and then they work and make effort, and they're able to benefit in this arena, in this field. But again, it is Allah who created that person, and it is Allah who created his mind. It is Allah who blessed him in his cleverness, and it is Allah who gave him success to move upon these affairs and to embark upon these endeavors, and it is Allah who blessed that. No doubt, to have knowledge of these affairs is a great advantage. No doubt, to have knowledge of business and the likes like this, when one is trying to make a profit, it is a great advantage. But many times, there are situations and circumstances where someone who does not have much knowledge whatsoever, he would embark upon these affairs and he would invest his money, and it will be doubled. And it will be doubled. And maybe another person who has examined the affairs in great detail and been very precautious, and he has great knowledge with regards to business, he would invest his money and he will lose. He would invest his money and he will lose. So the favor and the blessing is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the point. Not about because knowing any of the aspects of trade and commerce. No doubt if a person who is going to embark upon these affairs, he would learn. He would learn the best he can. And taking the means, this is legislated, but to take the means is a favor from Allah. And the fact that the means are successful is a favor from Allah. So a believer, he will take the means, and he will learn those avenues, and he will strive and make effort, but he'll put his faith and trust in Allah. And if there's some good from that, then he will know that it is from his Lord, and he will show thanks. He will ascribe that blessing to Allah, not to himself. Not to himself. وَقَالَ آخَرُونَ عَلَى عِلْمٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَنِّي لَهُ أَهْلٌ عَلَى عِلْمٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَنِّي لَهُ أَهْلٌ. Other people of knowledge with regards to the interpretation of the Quran, they mention the meaning of this verse, that I was given this based upon knowledge from me, meaning based upon knowledge from Allah, that I deserve this. That I deserve this. So with regards to the first statement, على علم عندي, يعني على علم عندي, meaning the knowledge is referring back to Qarun, and that he was given all this wealth and all of this prosperity and all these treasures because of knowledge from him, and he knowledge from him on how to earn money and how to make and how to do business. And then the second interpretation, the knowledge is referring back to Allah. على علم عندي, meaning with knowledge from Allah, that I deserve this. That I deserve this. So these are two aspects of ungratefulness with regards to blessings that come from those who disbelieve, and likewise those who resemble them. Either they will forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entirely. They will forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entirely at the time of blessing, and they'll say, this is from me and my efforts. This is from me and my efforts. This is from me and my efforts. I have this wealth, I have this blessing because of my hard effort, because of my hard work, because of my cleverness, or because of my forefathers, like this. Or if they did not forget Allah entirely, they will still forget the favor of Allah. So then they will say, yes, this is from Allah, but I deserve this. And Allah, this is something I deserve. So therefore I have this, and Allah gave this to me because He loves me, and I deserve this. And I deserve this from my effort or from something that I have done. So all of this is wrong. And all of this is incorrect. And all of this is bad manners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and weakness in faith and deficiency at-tawheed. But rather, a believer, he will realize that this is from the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he says, وَهَذَا مَعْنَى قَوْلِ مُجَاهِدٍ أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى شَرَفٍ. And this is the meaning of the statement of Mujahid, and I have been given this wealth based upon nobility and honor. Based upon nobility and honor. So this statement here, Mujahid, it consists of, it includes both meanings. I was given this wealth upon honor, any honor from me, because I have the knowledge and the efforts and the cleverness, or because I am honored with Allah Azza wa Jalla and I deserve that. And I deserve that. So it includes both in both meanings. After this, the author, he says, وَعَنْ أَبِي هُرَيْرَةَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ أَنَّهُ سَمِعَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَقُولُ. And it has been narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu that he heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying. And now there is a long narration, which is a story. And a story of three individuals from the children of Israel, from the previous nations. And this narration is muttafaqun alayhi. It's in Bukhari and Muslim. In Sahih Bukhari, it's in Kitab Ahadith al-Anbiya. Ahadith al-Anbiya. This particular narration is in Sahih Bukhari, in the book of the stories of the prophets. In the book, the stories of the prophets. And it's from the lutf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we reach this chapter and this time. Allahu Akbar. And we're having a dawrah now with the children about the stories of the prophets. And this narration here is from that chapter. But the wisdom behind the stories of the prophets and the previous nations, the righteous, that are found in the book and in the sunnah, the wisdom behind that is not to simply read and to have entertainment, and to read and to entertain oneself and to pass time and the likes like this, but rather to take a lesson. Allah, He says, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. That indeed in their stories, and in the stories of the prophets and messengers, alayhim salatu wassalam, and likewise in the stories of the previous nations who have preceded, meaning in the Quran and in the Sunnah, there are indeed lessons and admonishments for people of understanding. So this is the wisdom behind the likes of these narrations, to read them and to take a lesson and admonishment. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِنَّ ثَلَاثَةً مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ أَبْرَصَ وَأَقْرَعَ وَأَعْمَى فَأَرَادَ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَبْتَلِيَهُم فَبَعَثَ إِلَيْهِمْ مَلَكًا فأتى الأبرص فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال لون حسن وجلد حسن ويذهب عني الذي قد قذرني الناس به. قال فمسحه فذهب عنه قذره فأعطي لونا حسنا وجلدا حسنا. قال فأي المال أحب إليك؟ قال الإبل أو البقر. شك إسحاق فأعطي ناقة عشراء وقال بارك الله لك فيها. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that there was a story in the previous nations, three individuals from the children of Israel. Three individuals from the children of Israel. One of them was Abras. Abras meaning he's a leper, the one who has a skin disease, whenever the skin changes colors and becomes lighter, and he has a disease in his skin. And this is something that whenever a person is affected by that, it will cause him to look strange and to look different. And the people will look down upon him. And many times they'll flee and turn away from him. And they'll be afraid of him and they'll dislike him. And his skin will change colors. And the likes like this. And there's no complete cure for this. According to what the doctors they mention. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has the ability to do all things. And Allah, He can cure anything. If a person is truthful with Allah Azza wa Jalla, seeking that cure from Him. But the first person, he was Abras. He was a leper. He had leprosy. And he had a problem in the skin, and his skin tone and skin color. And the second one is Aqra. And he was bald. He had a disease in his head, where the hair would not grow in his head, until in his head, and on top or on the side or anything like that. And the other one, he was a blind man. He was a blind man. So Allah, He wanted to test them and to try them. And He sent to them an angel. He sent to them an angel, meaning in the form of a man. He sent to them an angel in the form of a man. So He came to the leper And he said to him, what is the thing that you would like the most? What is it that you hope to have the most? So the man, he said, I would like to have a good color in my skin and a nice skin tone. And he wants to have good skin and a good color of skin. And I want this thing to go away from me, this disease that I have, that the people find fault with me because of, and they flee from me and turn away from me. So the angel, he touched him, and his disease and his sickness, it went away. And then he said to him, what type of wealth and property do you like most? So he said, camels or cows. One of the narrators, his name is Ishaq, he doubted about this. So this man, he was given a pregnant she-camel. And then the angel, he said, Barakallahu laka fiha. May Allah bless you with regards to your camel. May Allah bless you with regards to your camel. قال فأتى الأقرع فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال شعر حسن ويذهب عني الذي قد قذر الناس به فمسحه فذهب عنه فأعطي شعرا حسنا فقال أي المال أحب إليك؟ قال البقر أو الإبل فأعطي بقرة حاملا قال بارك الله لك فيها. And then the angel, he went to the bald man and he said, what is the thing that is most beloved to you? What would you like to have most? So he said, I would like to have nice hair. I would like to have nice hair, and I would like for this disease to go away from me that the people have found fault with me because of it, turned away from me and avoided me. So the angel, he touched him, and then that disease, it went away, and he was given good hair. And he was given good hair. So then he said to him, what type of property would you like to have most? He said cows, or he said camels. So he was given a pregnant cow. He was given a pregnant cow. And then the angel, he said to him, he said, may Allah bless you in your cow. فأتى العامة. And then he went to the blind man. فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال أن يرد الله إلي بصري فأبصر به الناس فمسحه فرد الله إليه بصره. قال فأي المال يحب إليك؟ قال الغنم فأعطي شاة واردا فأنتج هذان وولد هذا فكان لهذا واد من الإبل ولهذا واد من البقر ولهذا واد من الغنم. So the angel, now he went to the blind man and he said to him, what is the thing that's most beloved to you? He said that Allah would return my eyesight to me so I can see the people. That Allah will return my eyesight to me so that I can see the people. So therefore the angel, he touched him and Allah returned his eyesight back to him. And then the angel, he said to him, what is the most beloved property and wealth to you? He said sheep. He said the sheep. So he was given a pregnant sheep. And then both of those, the cow and the camel and the cow both gave birth, and likewise the sheep. And then they both gave birth until the extent that this person, the first one, he had a valley full of camels, and the second person, he had a valley full of cows, and the last person, he had a valley full of sheep. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him, blessed all three of them and their animals until they produced much good, and they multiplied until each one of them had a valley full of these animals. قال ثم إنه أتى الأبرص في صورته وهيئته فقال رجل مسكين قد انقطعت بي الحبال في سفري فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك أسألك بالذي أعطاك اللون الحسن والجلد الحسن والمال بعيرا أتبلغ به في سفري. So the angel, now he came back to those people after they had been cured, and after they had been given blessing in their wealth, and their wealth has multiplied. He came back to the leper, but this time he came in the form of the leper before, and in the manner he used to be. And he came to the leper now who was healed and who was healthy and who was wealthy, but he came in the form of a leper, just like how he used to be before. And he said to him, I'm a poor man, and I'm traveling, and my wealth has been cut off, and I am not able to reach my home, and there is no way for me to make it to my destination today except by Allah, and then after that by your help. And I ask you by the one who has given you the good color that you have, and the nice skin that you have, and all of the wealth that you have, I ask you for one camel, so that I can reach my destination and finish my travel and my journey and make it back home. فقال الحقوق كثيرة فقال له كأني أعرفك ألم تكن أبرص يكذرك الناس فقيرا فأعطاك الله المال فقال إنما ورثت هذا المال كابرا عن كابر. So he says, now after he was asked that, the man, he said, oh, the rights are many. I have too many rights. He has how many camels? A valley of camels. And now the angel is asking for how many camels? One camel. So what does he say? He said, oh no, the rights are too many. I have too many rights upon me. And I'm not able to give up not even one camel. I have too many things I have to take care of. Too many responsibilities. Too many things I must, too many obligations, too many rights, he says. So then the angel, he says to him, he says, I think I know you. Didn't you used to be a leper? Didn't the people used to flee from you in aversion and dislike you and stay away from you because of your skin tone? Didn't you used to be poor? Weren't you in poverty and Allah provided you with wealth? At this time, the man, he says, I inherited this wealth from my forefathers. I inherited this wealth from my forefathers. Kabiran and kabir. Yani Aban and Jid. Yani from my forefathers. I deserve this. This is my right. This is what he says. فَقَالَ إِن كُنْتَ كَاذِبًا فَسَيَّرَكَ اللَّهُ إِلَى مَا كُنْتَ. So the angel, he says to him, now, if you are lying, then may Allah put you back the way that you were. Then may Allah send you back to the way that you used to be. قال وأتى الأقرع في صورته فقال له مثل ما قال لهذا ورد عليه مثل ما رد عليه هذا فقال إن كنت كاذبا فسيرك الله إلى ما كنت. So this time the angel, he went to the bald man, but he came in the form of the bald man. Now he comes in the same form as the bald man, and he said to him the likes of what he said to him and the one before that. And that bald man, he responded to him the same way the previous one responded. And he denying the help and denying the blessing likewise. So the angel, he said to him, إن كنت كاذبا فسيرك الله إلى ما كنت. إلى ما كنت. He said, if you're lying, then may Allah return you back to what you used to be. Then may Allah return you back to the state you used to be in. قال وأتى الأعمى في صورته وهيئته فقال رجل مسكين وابن السبيل قد انقطعت بي الحبال في سفري فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك أسألك بالذي رد عليك بصرك شاة أتبلغ بها في سفري فقال قد كنت أعمى فرد الله إلي بصري فخذ ما شئت ودع ما شئت فوالله لا أجهدك اليوم بشيء أخذته لله. So now he says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says that the angel, he went to the blind man and he came in the form of the blind man, meaning he came as a blind man. And he said to him, I am a poor man and I'm a wayfarer on a journey and my provision has ended and I'm not able to reach my destination. And I have no means today except by Allah. And then after that, by your help. So I ask you, by the one who has returned your eyesight to you, that you give me one sheep that will be a means to help me reach my destination in my travel. So the blind man, he said, indeed, Allah, He has given me back my eyesight, and you should take whatever you like and leave whatever you like. You can have whatever you want. I would not deny you today from anything that Allah has given me. فَقَالَ أَمْسِكْ مَالَكَ. So the angel told him, he said, keep your wealth. فَإِنَّمَا أُبْتُلِيتُمْ. It was only a trial that you all have been tested with. فَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ وَسَخِطَ عَنْ صَاحِبَيْكَ أَخْرَجَاهُ. So indeed Allah, He's pleased with you. And He referring to the blind man, and He is angry with your two companions. And He is angry with your two companions. So we see that from the lessons to learn in this story, this last statement here. فَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ فَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ وَسَخِطَ عَنْ صَاحِبَيْكَ. That indeed Allah is pleased with you. And because he did not deny the blessing of Allah, that he remembered the favor of Allah, that he used to be blind and Allah, He gave him his eyesight back. It was not because of the cleverness of the doctors or because of the success of the surgeon. For example, somebody may say today that the surgery was so successful, and the knowledge has come, the knowledge of medicine has reached such a high level, and the machinery and the equipment that they have, and plus the doctor, he's so skilled and so smart and so wise, and the likes like this, and this is why the operation was successful. For example, in these days, he wouldn't say the likes like this. Allah, Radda ilayya bas. Allah, He gave me my eyesight back. Allah, He gave me my eyesight back. Even if these means were taken in these days, for example, with this medicine and surgeries and the likes like this, Allah gave him the eyesight back. So this is the obligation to realize and to confess to and to say with the tongue. And the one who does that, then Allah will be pleased with him. Then Allah will be pleased with him. There's a narration in Sahih Muslim from the hadith of Anas radiyallahu anhu that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna Allah la yarda an al-abdi an ya'kul al-aklata فيحمده عليها ويشرب شربة فيحمده عليها." That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He'll be pleased with a person if he eats a piece of food and he praises Allah for it, and if he takes a drink and he praises Allah for it. And this is something that is light, but it's heavy. It's something that's easy, but there is a great reward or recompense related to it, and that is to realize the favor of Allah and to thank Him. But if you show thanks to Allah just for a drink or just for one piece of food that you eat, but you say Alhamdulillah, this is from Allah, blessing from Allah, then Allah will be pleased with you. Then Allah will be pleased with you. So this man, he realized that the favor was from Allah and the blessing was from Allah, and because of that Allah is pleased with him. So this is something that is not hard to do, to realize that all of this good that we have, it is Allah who has provided this. The one who has sincerity and truthfulness and looks around in the creation, he will see that this is the provision of Allah, and this is the goodness from Allah. So to recognize that and to confess that is from the greatest means to have the pleasure of Allah, and He will be happy with you. And if Allah is happy with you, then He will give you success, and He will protect you, and He will guide you, and He will help you, and He will direct you, and He will aid you, and He will forgive you if you slip and you ask for forgiveness, and the likes like this. But to deny those blessings is a means for Allah to be angry with a person. And if Allah is angry with him, then don't ask about the calamities that he will face. وَلِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ وَلِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So the author, he says, فِيهِ مَسَائِل. In this chapter, there are issues or benefits. الأولى تفسير الآية. The first one is the interpretation of the verses, the verse that had preceded. الثانية ومعنى لا يقولن هذا لي. And the second issue is the meaning of the statement that he said, this is for me. And this blessing and this mercy, this is for me. And meaning it had those two intents, those two meanings. Either it means that this is something that I worked for, meaning he forgot Allah entirely, or he would say this is something that I deserve, and that Allah, He has given me this because I deserve it. So then he would still, even though he remembers Allah at this time, he still forgets the favor and the blessing of Allah, and he ascribes that to something that he has done. So both of these are wrong, and that which is correct is to say, Alhamdulillah, the blessing is for Allah. This is the favor of Allah. If a person, he went into business and he worked hard and he made effort and he spent time and he spent wealth and the likes like this, and then it was good and his money was multiplied, what would he say? Alhamdulillah, it's the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal. Like this, he will take the means, he will work hard, he will put forth what he can, he will do what he needs to do, and then whenever success comes, he will say Alhamdulillah, it's the favor of Allah, the blessing of Allah. And this manner here, the blessing will be a blessing for him. The good that he has will be a true blessing for him. If not, the good that a person has, and from the prosperity will turn into retribution. It will not be a blessing. It will be a means of calamity for him. وَلِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. الثالثة ما معنى قوله قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. And the third issue is the meaning of that statement of Qarun, that I was only given this based upon knowledge from me. We have seen the similar interpretation. الرابعة ما في هذه القصة العجيبة من العبر العظيمة. And the fourth and the last issue is that which is found in this amazing story from the great lessons. And no doubt this is an amazing story. And also there are many tremendous lessons and we have seen some of them. And also from the lessons here that we could take is the fact that the angel, whenever the person requested something, the angel, he wiped him. And it's easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make things happen. Kun fayakun, automatically. But the people of knowledge, they mentioned that this is a sign that Allah, He wants to teach the people that you have to take the means. You have to take the means. So the fact that the angel touched him, and he made the means. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, He decreed what He decreed. And what occurred according to the decree of Allah. And that could happen without the angel touching him. But the point is to teach us that we have to take the means. Just as Musa alayhi salam, he hid his staff on the sea. And Allah, He's able to do that. And to able to aid him and to help him without hitting his staff. But Allah ordered him to take the means. And this is the point here, that a person, he must take the means. But whenever the good comes and the success comes, to know that that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are other benefits and lessons to be learned from the likes of these stories. We ask Allah to increase us in beneficial knowledge and righteous actions. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.